What's going on, New York Giants fans? Hit Squad back at it with another video. And the New York Giants will be heading down to Miami, Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins this upcoming Sunday. Now, let's get into this, right? As a Florida boy myself, I've had a very close eye on the Miami Dolphins for a majority of my life. I lived in the backyard of Miami a majority of my life, and a part of me seeing this Miami Dolphins team play as good as they are now is pretty happy for them because the city of Miami deserves this. Believe me, they absolutely deserve this. So I'm happy for them. But putting that aside, this weekend the Giants will be facing the Dolphins and they're gonna be having their hands full. I have to be honest with you. The Giants will have their hands full this upcoming Sunday. Now, let's look at both sides of the ball for Miami, right? So let's start with the offense. The offense we know is a high scoring offense. You have mismatches all across the ball, starting with Tyreek. Then you also go down to Jalen Waddle. You could throw Braxton Berrios in there, Chosen Anderson. Then you look at the running backs that they provide. Akin, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Raheem Mostert. Those are guys that just ran. Actually, I believe they had a total yards for 300 against the Denver Broncos, which that team put up a historic performance that we will probably never see again in our lifetime, scoring 70 points against the Denver Broncos just 2 weeks ago. Now, the Dolphins just lost against the Buffalo Bills, but I think it's very clear that the Giants are not the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have one of the best defenses in the entire league. That's a division rival, which those games are always going to be close and hard fought. And Miami tends to not play their best against Buffalo, if we're keeping it honest. So the Giants, they're going to have to play they're going to have to play disciplined in this game. Again, Mike McDaniel, he draws up a lot of eye candy with the mismatches that they have on the field. And honestly, seeing how bad this run defense has been for the Giants, seeing the bad tackling, seeing that, this defense for the Giants can be had, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried, if not worried. And I think it's valid. Tyreek Hill is one of, if not, some people will argue, the best wide receiver in the NFL, up there with Justin Jefferson. I mean, doesn't matter if you have two, three people on him, he's going to get open. And you better hope that either he gets overthrown, underthrown, or your defensive player makes a excellent play and breaks it up. Because if not, Tyreek Hill can easily take over a game for you. Now, Waddle provides that same elite speed. While a lot of teams like to pay attention to Tyreek Hill and where he's on the field, absolutely warranted. A lot of teams tend to forget about Jalen Waddle, who he's a mismatch nightmare. So the Giants are going to be tested in their secondary, who's fairly young at the moment. Tua's playing at a high level. I'm very happy to see, how well Tua's been coming along. He finally has a solid head coach in Mike McDaniels. Again, the Giants, this defense just has to be disciplined. They have to play better in the run game. I thought they played a fairly solid game against the Seattle Seahawks. The defense, Kayvon had 2 sacks. Azeez Ojolari looked pretty decent. The run defense and Bobby Okereke looked fairly decent as well. But this is a better run attack than what Seattle had. So the Giants, again, they can't afford to have bad tackling in this game. They can't afford to play undisciplined, and they can't afford to beat themselves. They really can't. Now, let's look at their defense for Miami, right? This is a defense that can be had. 28th in scoring, 25 in passing. They're a defense that could be had. Ramsey's not in the lineup at the moment. You also have Xavier Howard not playing his best ball right now. They do have Javon Holland, who's a beast and a ball hawker at the safety position. So Daniel Jones is going to have to keep an eye on that. But they're a defense that can be had. Also, you look at the run defense. The run defense is pretty subpar. They could be had as well. Vic Fangio, he's one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. I have a ton of respect for him. Pro is that Daniel Jones has had success against Vic Fangio style defenses. You look at the Packers, you look at the Vikings game, just for starters. But Vic Fangio is Vic Fangio. He calls his defense differently than his proteges do. And just like Wink, he's going to be able to disguise packages. You are going to see a lot of too high safety shells. And Daniel Jones is going to have to be able to capitalize on that. Now, for the Giants, are they going to be able to run the ball better against this Dolphins team? They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. This just this Giants team has no other choice but to run the ball against this team because you're coming off a game where you just gave up 10, 11 sacks against Seattle. You don't want this Miami defense to get in rhythm. Jalen Phillips maybe possibly coming back. He's their best pass rusher. Bradley Chubb is looking fairly decent. Christian Wilkins is a pretty solid player in the interior. So this can get ugly if the Giants aren't on their P's and Q's. Now, this offensive line with no Andrew Thomas, I mean, yeah, it's very worrisome. It's not looking too good. And again, you don't want to have this Miami defense get into a rhythm. Now, looking at the Giants, again, they have to play better. Daniel Jones has to play better. Two back to back piss poor performances, one against the 49ers, one against Seattle. You can argue the offensive line, you can argue his skill players, but Daniel Jones this past week had a piss poor performance against the Seattle Seahawks. Absolutely cannot have that again against this Dolphins team. They will take advantage, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So the Giants have to be able to score points, have to be able to put points on the board, and they have to be able to keep that Dolphins offense off of the field. So if Saquon Barkley plays, which we'll see, I expect a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, Daniel Jones, Wandale Robinson. I expect the run game to be very, very relied upon in this game. Now, I also want to see Daniel Jones take advantage of their secondary. Attack with Jalen Hyatt. Attack with Darius Slayton downfield. Get the ball to Darren Waller. No excuse as to why he has 2 targets last week. No excuses whatsoever. Daniel Jones has to play better. This team has to come out firing, and they have to be able to score more points. Now, again, defense has to play better for the Giants. They have to play better. They have to be more disciplined. Have to be better in the tackling. Have to be able to, really hold their own in the secondary and get to Tua. Because if not, you're going to give time for these wide receivers to get open. Tua's going to pick apart your secondary, and it's going to be a very long game for this Giants team. So keep Tua and this offense off of the field. Run the damn ball. Attack downfield. Get Darren Waller involved often and early. Now, again, Giants are going to have their hands full. I'm not expecting the Giants to win this game. I got to be honest with you. I thought, maybe with Andrew Thomas, JMS in, who we'll see, I would feel a little bit better about this game. But until this Giants team proves to me that they can, compete and play at an NFL level, it's going to be hard for me to pick them to win this game. So I'm actually going to have the Giants losing this game. I don't see a scenario where this Giants team can really compete with this Dolphins team. I hope that they can, and I think that in some way they can, but man, it's going to be very, very hard. So I have this Giants team losing this game, unfortunately. I think we're talking 31-17, if I'm being honest with you, and I hate saying that. I never want to count my team out any given Sunday, but the reality of the situation is this is not a good Giants team right now. We are injured. We are not playing at a high level right now, and we have to be able to hold our own, and we have to be able to play discipline. So 31-17. It's not looking good for the Giants right now. Also, you have Buffalo next week, so have to be able to get right in this game. And let's see. Let's see if this Giants team can. Let us know your thoughts below. And yeah, I really want to hear what you guys have to say because this is going to be a good game. And hopefully, this isn't a game that makes you want to kill a whole bottle of Hennessy. So let us know your thoughts below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.